I thought I'd seen the worst of HOA power trips when they fined me for having a too-beige mailbox, but nothing compared to midnight at my cabin when a man in a police jacket, sneakers, and a plastic badge knocked on my door, demanding I sell my family's lakefront property or face criminal charges. And the kicker, I caught the entire fake cop act on livestream, proof that HOA President Meredith Sinclair had gone completely off the rails. Act 1. The conflict sparks. My name's Miles Thornton. I'm a software engineer introvert, problem solver, coffee addict. My grandmother, Ethel, left me her lake cabin 2 years ago. She called it our family's anchor. Her dying words were, "Protect it from people who see dollar signs instead of memories." Phew, I didn't know how literal that warning would turn out to be. It was 11:47. I was debugging code. Pixel, the cat, curled up beside me. Then 3 sharp knocks at the door, the kind that makes your stomach sink even when you've done nothing wrong. Through the porch light glow, I saw him, a man in his 40s, cheap police windbreaker, basic polo underneath, shiny plastic badge that caught the light wrong, and sneakers. Real cops don't show up solo at midnight for zoning issues, and they sure don't wear Nikes with their uniforms. He introduced himself, Officer Brock Hastings, County Sheriff's Department. I'm here about serious zoning violations at your lakefront property. I froze. Zoning violations. At midnight, he rattled off jargon like he'd memorized it from a bad script. You're in violation of the Waterway Protection Act of 2019. You've got 30 days to sell or face hefty fines and possible charges. My hands trembled, but not from fear, from fury. This was intimidation, plain and simple. And then he slipped, dropping Meredith's name. Mrs. Sinclair, the Homeowners Association president, has expressed serious concerns about property values. She's been very cooperative. There it was, Meredith, the self-appointed guardian of our lakefront community, the woman who thought she owned every blade of grass in the neighborhood. My first instinct: comply, apologize, do anything to end the confrontation. That's who I'd always been, the guy who said sorry when someone else bumped into me at the grocery store. But something felt so off. The badge, the uniform, the notebook with blank pages. So I did something new. I angled my phone, started an Instagram live, and kept my voice steady. What statute numbers are we talking about? I'd like to run them by my attorney. His face drained of color. He stammered, flipped through his empty notebook. And that's when I knew he wasn't a cop. He was a prop. The performance ended with him muttering that business people with serious resources were ready to buy me out clean. No lawyers. Then he vanished into the night, headlights fading down the lake road. I sat on the porch after, Pixel in my lap, adrenaline buzzing in my veins. My hands shook, but my anger burned hotter than my fear. For once, I wasn't helpless. I had him on video. Act 2. Escalation and turning point. The next morning, I marched to the county courthouse, spent 3 hours digging, just as I suspected. No Officer Brock Hastings on the payroll, no Waterway Protection Act, no pending zoning issues. My cabin was fully legal, grandfathered for 50 years. It should have reassured me. Instead, it made me realize how deep Meredith's claws went. I dug further through blogs, HOA records, leaked security data from that breach months ago. What I uncovered made the fake cop look like child's play. Meredith wasn't just bossing around mailboxes and lawn ornaments. She was in bed with Pinnacle Luxury Resorts, an $80 million development company eyeing our lakefront. They'd already pressured 8 families to sell. My cabin was the last domino. And Meredith, she wasn't just HOA president, she was their enforcer. That's when the smear campaign began. Local paper run by her nephew published stories painting me as the antisocial hermit, blocking job growth. Facebook groups flooded with posts calling me selfish, paranoid, even an eco-terrorist. And I'll admit it, those words cut deeper than I expected. I found myself second-guessing everything, sitting alone at night, reading comment after comment. I thought, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just one paranoid guy fighting windmills. Maybe I should sell, walk away, save myself the stress. For the first time, I wanted to quit. But then came the twist. First, Brock reappeared, not in costume this time, just a beaten man with bloodshot eyes. He confessed Meredith had blackmailed him for months, using his gambling debts. "She owns me," he said, hands trembling, "but I'll work for you. Just help me out of this." Then came Waverly Carmichael, Meredith's assistant, except she wasn't. She slid me a card. Investigative journalist, Pacific Northwest Tribune. She'd been undercover for months, documenting HOA corruption. She had emails, recorded calls, financials enough to bury Meredith and Pinnacle both. Suddenly, I wasn't alone. I had allies, insiders, and I remembered Grandma Ethel's words. Courage isn't about not being afraid. It's about being afraid and doing the right thing anyway. So we planned. We called it Operation Transparency. The battlefield, the next HOA meeting, the weapons, my neighbor's testimonies, Waverly's evidence, Brock's confession, and my carefully timed reveal. Act 3. The climax and collapse. Thursday night. The community center was packed, standing room only. Meredith stood at the front like a queen, flanked by her shark lawyer, Kingsley Blackwood. She opened with fake sympathy. "Before we begin, I must address troubling behavior from Mr. Thornton. Surveillance equipment, paranoid claims. We're concerned for his mental health." Gasps rippled, heads turned. She was trying to destroy my credibility before I even spoke. I stood slowly, forcing calm into my voice. "Thank you for your concern, Mrs. Sinclair. I actually have some information about threats to our community that I think everyone should see." I stepped to my laptop. First slide. Plants, soil, pH, boring landscaping talk. People yawned. Meredith smirked. Then I clicked. On the projector flashed a crystal-clear photo. Brock Hastings, in his fake cop jacket, sneakers, plastic badge. The room exploded. Gasps, whispers, outrage. Meredith went white. Kingsley leaned in, hissing at her. I didn't stop. Next slide, bank records linking Pinnacle Resorts to HOA accounts. Next, emails of Meredith plotting alternative enforcement. Meredith shot to her feet. Technical malfunction. "Stop this nonsense." She lunged for my laptop. I stepped between her and the table. "Calm, steady. The equipment's fine, Mrs. Sinclair. And I think everyone deserves to hear what you've been up to." I clicked again. Audio filled the room, her own voice from her security system, discussing problematic residents and pressure tactics. Clear as day. Neighbors erupted. Henrik shouted about his bogus fines. Zara demanded answers about her kid's playground. Tessa, who'd been silent for years, stood trembling but loud. "You ruined my garden." Meredith. Kingsley tried legal jargon. No one cared. The mob had woken up, and then the doors opened. Real cops, badges gleaming, tactical vests strapped. Detective Martinez read from a warrant. "Meredith Sinclair, you are under arrest for conspiracy to commit extortion, wire fraud, and solicitation of criminal impersonation of a police officer." Gasps turned to cheers. Phones shot up, capturing every second. Meredith shrieked, mascara running. "Entrapment. Conspiracy. You have no idea who you're dealing with." Cuffs clicked. Kingsley grabbed his briefcase and bolted, abandoning her. I stood there, heart pounding, watching the woman who terrorized us for years dragged out, still screaming. And in that moment, I didn't feel victorious. I felt steady, like my grandmother's words had finally rooted themselves in me. Closing line. Power built on lies always crumbles, and the only way it wins is if we back down.